how did it go from there to
here?
where, yeah, and
Yeah.
even to like Forrest coming into that connection? How did that all happen?
Yeah, so it's actually like quite a personal story, but I've been happy to share along the way. In 2015, so I was working in the sound studio, and one morning I got a call from my half sister, but I really call her my sister.
Yeah, yeah.
We share the same dad, and at the time we weren't that close because she's like 8 years older than me, and so we never really grew up in the same household.
Yeah.
Like, so it was very particular for me to like see her name pop up on my phone and to have that call so early in the morning. And I was like, "Oh, something's like, what's happening?" And I remember just answering, being like, "Hey, like everything good? Like, what's up?" And no, nothing was good at that moment. I mean, my dad, she said, like, you know, dad and Daniel, who was my dad's wife's youngest, she said they were in a car accident and they didn't make it. So I like that from that moment on, like this was February 2015, and it just really changed.
Yeah,
Like
takes your
everything.
perspective to a whole different level, doesn't it?
100%. So, you know, I went into pretty deep grief. I kind of just like started wondering, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm 20, at the time I was 24. I was like, do I see myself staying in this job, in this role right now? And to be quite transparent, I'd just gotten like $2,000 from the car insurance, like, you know, the aftermath of, and I was like, it feels so weird to come into this like small amount of money, but it's not insignificant either. And what do I do with it? And I wanted to do something significant and like, you know, to just kind of, I figured, you know what, like, I have never really had the time to travel. I went from like high school to another school and then straight into work. And I was like 20, you know? So I was like, all right, well, I'm 5 years into this career that I love, but also at this point in like the studio, there wasn't really like an opportunity to move up roles anytime soon. So I was like, well, maybe the best thing for me, and I was kind of stuck in this like grief, like, you know,
I can imagine.
spot. It's tough, you know, and you don't really ever know when you're going to move through each stage, right? And they can just kind of like come at random times and hit you. So at some point I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go travel. Like I'm going to see, let's just see what happens when I hit rock bottom? What happens when I don't have a support system, my safety net? Because I had amazing people around me, like, to help me through this, but I just still didn't feel like I was moving through it in the way that I don't know, maybe should, or had expectations of me needing to move through it.
Yeah, and in some ways you probably needed to move out of it.
Potentially, yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm going to take the gamble and try it. So I started looking around for working holiday visas and where I could go, and I'd considered Germany, and then I was like, maybe Germany's not a great idea because I don't speak the language, and I feel like if I'm going to be there for a while, I should probably speak the language. And not that I was opposed to learning a new language, but you know, if you're already grieving, it's like maybe not add another thing. So I had a friend who'd just gone back from Ireland like a few months before, and she was like, I think you would love Ireland. You'd fit right in, like it's such a cool place. And I started looking into it, and I was like, you know what? I mean, they've got a 2-year working holiday visa. So
wow. Yeah.
I started like considering it more seriously, and then decided that was going to be the plan. But without having too much of a plan. So I had the visa, I had a one-way plane ticket, 2 bags, and 2 nights in a hostel, and that was it.
Oh my word, Alex!
I didn't know anyone in Ireland. I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have an apartment. Like I was just like, I'll get there, and I guess I'll figure it out.
Oh my word!
So
it's just trust the process, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So I was really like committed to just seeing how I would bounce back.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I guess I was open to whatever the universe would like.
And did you know many people in Ireland?
Well, now I do, but at the time, no one. Yeah. So I didn't know Forrest existed even at that point. Moved on January 16th of 2016.
Yeah.
So literally like 10 years this
Yeah.
year. It was a very special moment to come back to the summit, and be with Forrest. Just around that like 10-year milestone for me in my life. Like it's such a big moment.
And was it just a position there waiting for you? Or how long were you looking around for something?
I was looking around I got my accommodation. Like I found an apartment, I think 2-3 weeks in. And then I started looking for jobs because I was like, I don't have that many savings. Like I have to have to be able to sustain myself. Otherwise I need to book another, flight back just to ensure that I can make it home at some point. And so I started looking for jobs, and Forest came up as one of the job specs that I was really interested in, and it was a very unconventional kind of like, it wasn't like it was serious, but it didn't take like the job spec when you read it. It wasn't like taking it too seriously. There was also like, that what you love about Forest, like how we're all good crack, and it's just like the people are fun. We have that reputation, but we're also very professional. We know what we do and stuff. That came through in the job spec, and I was like, this seems like a cool place to work. And at the time it was for the role was blog and social media content executive. I didn't really have any experience in the industry whatsoever. I can do that? So I was like, can I but I know how to write. I was writing for arts and culture magazines. I'd been writing for like online blogs in the skateboarding scene and the street art scene in Montreal for a few years at that point. So I was like, I know how to write. I can do that. And social media, I don't have official training in that, but I can learn. I'm very much someone like, Forrest has one of the values is growth mindset, and I've always very much been aligned with that. So I was like, I'll learn. I'm willing to. So anyway, so I applied, and it's funny because I applied to so many different like jobs, because I was like, I just need to cast my options wide and see what comes back. And there were two companies who called me back, UPS and Phorest. And UPS was interesting to me at the time because my dad had worked for UPS when I was a teeny toddler. And I was like, wow, is this a sign? Like it's kind of serendipitous, for that to happen. I was way more interested in the job with Forest, but I was interviewing with both at the same time, and UPS was a lot faster in their offering of like a role and a contract. So just like, the anxiety around like, I'm in Ireland, I don't really have a job right now. I don't know, like I didn't have the certainty that I would land the job at Forest. So I was like, I feel like I need to take this contract at UPS. So I did. And then I declined the next round of interviews at Forest, only for them to come back and say like, actually, you were one of our top prospects for this role. No. Would you mind coming back in? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm free. Obviously, like now I've taken this role. So like, my schedule is a little less open. Like we'll accommodate like a later interview. That's not a problem. So I came back, and then I was offered the role.
So did you actually start for UPS?
Yeah, I did like a week or two of training.
And what was that role?
It was to be in customer service, billing representative in French for like their like Belgium kind of branch. So God, it would have been. It just
makes you wonder now, doesn't it? Like sort of like what where you would be 10 years from now, kind of thing. It would be a totally different.
Oh, totally different. Yeah, 100%.
But the thing is, like Forest is, to me, it's just such a unique. Well, no, not unique's not the right word. It's just such a brilliant culture, isn't it? I think that's what it's, and. Because it's so brilliant, I think that's what makes it stand out as unique.
Yes. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's something I've said to Ronan Percival like many times, like, because now I've been there 10 years. When I joined, the company had about 80 people. We're over 400. Yeah. Like it's grown like so much over the last 10 years. And I have like, I have so many different like funny memories and stuff of even just moving offices and moving things like by hand, like coming, moving like a chair, like office chair from one office to the other and on the street, But
when I first met, when I first got to know Ronan and everyone, obviously it was just like really small. And then Ronan had like said, will you come over and like speak at our AGM? So I was like, yeah, expecting to be sitting just around like sort of a table with a few people. And there was just like all these people. I was like, where have these come from? And it was just like, because it was just, and I think that must have been around the time when you came in, because it just seemed to be like an explosion going on. But he's such a great. Oh, I don't know. It was at the meeting there was just all these great ideas, and it was just, even as an outsider, I was just so excited by it. I was thinking, I want to work for Forrest.